Thank you for joining us on our journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Infinity Saga. Starting with Iron Man and ending with Spider-Man Far From Home, this podcast will contain spoilers for any of the films in the saga. This is your one and only spoiler warning for all of those films. Our goal is to discuss the plot of the movie we're currently watching, but it's almost impossible to talk about these great movies without bringing up what makes the others so great. Consider this your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in MCU's Infinity Saga. If you have any desire to see those movies, which you should, they're amazing, before hearing of the opinions of two regular Dans in their 30s and 40s, leave now and go watch them. They're great. Then come back here and listen to our take, because we have a lot of great and interesting takes. This is also your one and only adult content warning. This podcast will contain mature language and adult situations. Our goal is never to offend or alienate. We believe that there can be comedy in everything, and everything should be discussed with an open mind. So please take anything we say with a grain of salt. Thanks for listening.
Do I want to set this up any differently? And so when I took out the wall outlet, I took pictures of it.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
How are you, Take Two?
Take Two is fantastic. This year, rough but nice.
Rough but nice. Yes.
I mean, I get to work from home all the time.
Yeah, I know. I gotta show you a meme later. It's perfectly encapsulates my feelings as an introvert.
Memes really are good at expressing feelings.
Oh yeah. What did you do during the collapse of society? Oh, son, I shared white hot memes with friends of the same like-mindedness. Anyway. This is Disgusting Dan's Presents Entertainment and You. How pop culture shapes the world. Our mission statement is to keep a vague and open dialogue about how science fiction has affected pop culture as viewed through the eyes of two Dans in their 30s and 40s. No topic is too off topic, obviously, and no opinion is wrong.
That's true.
So that would be a good soundbite moment for like an expression.
Right?
And no opinion is wrong.
See, I'm telling you, it's a good idea.
That was a good
We're
idea.
going to expand this podcast.
We are adding and changing all the time.
Evolving.
Just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And especially this movie, this Thor Ragnarok, was a departure.
Big departure. This is our 17th movie in the Infinity Saga, Thor Ragnarok. Yes, came out in 2017, directed by Taika Waititi, and boy, what a departure from not only the MCU but for Thor.
Yeah, I mean the tone of the Dark World and how Dark World performed numbers wise was cold compared
pretty dismal.
What we were hoping for, and Taika Waititi found out exactly what to embellish in Thor, and maybe what to squander a little bit. I want to say they don't even lose anything about Thor. He's still.
I think they rounded him out a lot more.
Like he's less impulsive and angry and ready to burst out and do his own thing.
Yeah, he seems more human. He more goes with the flow. I mean, the opening to the movie is like a perfect example. He basically sums up the whole movie talking to a skeleton, something I imagine a human would do.
Yeah.
And then
the skeleton, yeah, right.
Yeah, in the very beginning, and then when he's talking to, what was his name? Surtur. Yeah, and he starts spinning around. He's like, oh, hang on. I swear to God, it just keeps doing this. Just keeps spinning me around. I'm not doing it. Yeah, he's taking the air out of their bellows.
That's true.
Right in the beginning of the movie. It's fucking great.
Yeah, how the chain swings him around slowly.
Yeah.
Man, it was a great beginning. I gotta say, Surtur, is that right? Surtur, right?
Surtur, yeah.
Yeah, Surtur, voiced by Clancy Brown. Man, that guy's got a great voice. I want to be the next Clancy Brown if I could. I need a deeper voice all the time then. I just gotta talk like this all the time.
All the time. Optimus Prime. Roll out.
Yeah.
Just gotta do your Transformer impression.
Yeah,
you got
right?
it.
Well, Clancy Brown, man, he's been so many voices. It's ridiculous now. Not many people have I would say a voice as talented as and it's like he's like the next James Earl Jones as far as deep voice actor goes, and the want for. I mean, and not only does he have that deep, rumbly voice, but he's been an actor so long. He's been in so many things. He was in Highlander.
Oh yeah,
like
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I remember his picture from. Is from Highlander.
Yeah,
the
that
80s
was
one.
awesome. Yeah, with the throat cut.
Oh yeah,
That guy,
that's the only way to kill a Highlander.
Yeah. And Sean Connery sure did try.
Oh, he sure did. Somehow he was cast as a Spaniard multiple times as well.
Yeah, right.
But the beginning between Thor and Surtur, just the tiny little, he's like, oh, that's your crown? I thought it was a big eyebrow. He's like, it's a crown. Like, he's all,
right. Yeah.
You tell he's getting tired of his shit. And
not a grand, majestic line, but a felt like an improvised real line. You know, it's like it's bringing the movie more comical than dramatic is what Taika is. What I'm seeing there is it's a crowd. You know, like having a little tit for tat.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like he's propping himself up, and Thor just keeps knocking down little pegs. But another cool thing I noticed on this rewatch, and now that we've been doing a whole Infinity Saga. And I should preface that by saying I watched the hell out of this movie when it was on Netflix, like constantly. Right. But on this rewatch, he tells Thor right in the very beginning that Odin is not on Asgard. And if we remember from the end of the Dark World, Loki takes the form of Odin at the the form of a soldier, right? At the very end of the movie. So he mourns his death. We think he's dead, and then I'm pretty sure there's a hint that he's Odin, right? At the end of Dark World.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's already.
It's just a
expected.
conversational hint and like a green glimmer or something like that. It's like a super nonchalant hint, but a hint, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, but obviously
I'm not watching it again.
I'm not. No. Nope. I was just trying to remember for memory's sake.
No, I totally understand. Yeah.
But he tells him he's not on Asgard.
So that should be a hint, or that is absolutely a hint to Thor that something's wrong, which is interesting. Which tells me that when after we last see Thor, he must have been traveling the galaxy, just freaking working really hard on solving all of his dad's problem, collecting the Surtur crown to prevent Ragnarok,
doing all kinds of shit. I mean, he said he hasn't been back home and.
Right, he brought peace to the Nine Realms kind of thing. And when he's in this fiery plane with Surtur, why is the Companions 3 not with him? Weird. And then while Loki took over, why the heck are the Companions 3 just kind of lounging around Asgard at this time? When Hela comes back, they're just kind of like lounging at the gate. Why haven't they worked to foil Loki? And if they have, why aren't they trapped or confined? They were free and just hanging out by the gate when Hela walks in. I'm just saying. It's weird.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. I mean, what use did they have? They were really prevalent in the first two movies. And,
right.
Yeah.
Back on Surtur, I got to say I love the putting the hammer in the jet dragon's mouth.
Oh, yeah. You stay there.
Yeah. And that was... awesome intro. Another thing I noticed, the slamming the sword into the keyhole that is that room. While the sword looked super badass, when they put the sword in there and it kind of wobbles.
Yeah, bad visual effects.
I just don't think anything in this room would wobble.
I'm glad you noticed that too, because I felt the same way. But then again, I've never actually held a real fucking real sword, so maybe they do wobble, and I'll just kind of put that on the what do you call that, the something of disbelief.
Well,
suspense of disbelief.
I don't think the sword wobbled. It was a keyhole, like it couldn't handle the weight of it being shoved in there. Completely steady.
That's you guys shouldn't have plastic in Asgard.
That's what I was yeah. That's all. That super keyhole for the Bifrost opening sword.
Yeah, but still really, really cool. That's how they get there. And speaking of the Bifrost, Heimdall's gone, we find out. Very, very quick. We get a shitload of exposition very, very quickly, which is what I really love that Taika did. He didn't spend the amount of time that he spent explaining the story. They would have turned into a whole movie if this was directed by somebody else.
Yeah, when I was complaining about the Warriors 3, that was my brain was thinking like either they could have had the Warriors 3 go with Heimdall and help, go into the forest and help the people when they can, and that would need more explanation, more.
Yeah, why aren't they with him? Why are they with Heimdall? Yeah.
I think just clipping up the story so that we can enjoy the main story is probably the best move. Asgard's a magical place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all metaphor.
So a couple of notes I made of the very, very funny parts in the beginning is, first of all, we get our meme of, behold, my stuff. And he's got like a Vespa and 2 M16s he got from a place in Midgard called Texas. I call him Dez and Troy. When you put them together.
I gotta say, Carl Urban is something else.
Amazing.
He can do anything.
I loved him since he was the Doom guy in the movie Doom.
Yeah. Heimdall. Not sorry, Heimdall. The Horadrim. Sorry, that's Lord of the Rings. He was the Prince of the Horadrim. The exiled.
Oh yeah. Yes. He was. Yeah. He's just got like the face for badass, like old timey, and he's got the face for like corporate superhero / video game first person shooter superhero guy. I don't know. I like me some Carl Urban. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Corporate superheroes.
Yeah. The Boys, man. I love that show. Yeah. So, Carl Urban, man. He's amazing. He can do a lot.
Digging me some Carl Urban. He gave us one of my favorite memes of all time, and boy, what a great actor. But we also, my other note of quickly in the beginning before we skip forward on the plot is the uncredited Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Sam Neill playing Thor, Loki, and Odin, respectively.
Wait, Casey Affleck?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Uncredited God damn it, Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Sam Neill.
Casey Affleck. I know Sam Neill's Thor, but I don't think
Sam
Casey Affleck is playing Thor.
Yeah, Casey Affleck's playing Thor. Go back a little bit.
I will.
I'll Google while you're searching or while you're reviewing.
My thought is it's the actor who he's in Westworld. He's like the guy who plays.
That's actually, I think you're right. It might be the younger Hemsworth.
Oh no way! It isn't the younger Hemsworth. No, it's not even a Hemsworth. It's I'd recognize the Hemsworth.
Well, that's the security guy. That's the security guy in Westworld is a Hemsworth.
No way.
Yeah, Luke Hemsworth. And yes,
oh my gosh.
It's Luke Hemsworth.
I gotcha. Okay, Luke Hemsworth. Okay, I take it all back. It is a Hemsworth.
Yeah, it is a Hemsworth.
I didn't even register that Hemsworth, to be honest. I know.
You didn't? You're like the guy that looks a lot like Hemsworth. Yeah, he's a Hemsworth. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're everywhere, man. Have you ever seen The Good Place?
Yes. Oh yes.
Where she was dating Larry Hemsworth. He's like the lesser of the Hemsworth brothers. And he thought like so shitty of himself because of his brothers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. That show was so good. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. The great acting was done in this movie by Loki, who was playing the true Odin. But when Thor was able to see right through it.
Oh yeah, so easily.
It's amazing that none of the Asgardians. Again, Taika Waititi just clipping up the story for us. Thank you very much. But I mean, it's a little suspicious. Who are these guys? If they're not very strong, they're obviously not very smart either.
I know, right? Asgardians, yeah, they're not sounding like they're the coolest people on around. He quickly
sees through and talks to him. And it's just like gets him to yield and tells him to bring him to where Odin is.
And they literally that's what I loved about his directing. It reminded me of Snatch. You ever seen Snatch? With Brad Pitt and
you think about boxer? Yeah.
Like dogs? Yeah. What? Yeah. You like dogs? Dogs? You like dogs? Oh, dogs. Yeah, I like dogs. Yeah. So in that, the guy who's going after the diamonds in the beginning of the movie, there's that quick cutaway where he's like, "What? We got to get the diamonds!" And then they do like a scene where a car door slams. They arrive at the airport. It's literally like cut. Car door slams. Arrive at the airport. Plane taking off. Him taking a drink on the plane, and then they smash cut to the next scene. That is exactly what I feel like they did with Thor getting the info. He's like, "Where's Odin? Take me to where he is." And then
boom, right there.
Yeah, they're right there. New York City, Bleecker Street.
I love how now that the Sorcerer Supreme is apparently in his element and, doing things his way, being the Sorcerer Supreme, Loki shows up on Earth and
immediately.
The Sorcerer Supreme doesn't even have to get out of the building.
Yeah.
He just puts a little portal underneath him and has him fall.
Yeah,
forever.
Falling for 30 minutes. I can't imagine how exhausting that would be.
Right? I mean, geez.
Like, after the first 10 minutes, like, what does your brain go through? Like, and where did he have him fall?
Yeah, right? Just like some empty void that he just... Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's such a sweet move. I mean, and also to show the level of competence the Sorcerer Supreme has in protecting Earth. Loki comes back. You're gonna have to explain yourself, son.
Oh, yeah. Even when Thor's asking about Odin, he says, "Well, when he came here, he explicitly told me not to tell anybody." So he was already aware of Odin when he showed up. But exactly. Definitely shows his
the
skills.
Supreme part of Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you get some veggies and sour cream. It means you get the best of the best.
Though I will take the veggies and sour cream.
Yeah, I do like me a Supreme taco, yeah.
So after he talks to him, I like how he needed a strand of his hair to complete some spells. That is very spell-like.
Yes.
It
was a nice touch. I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah, right. He just didn't automatically do it, but he needed some kind of connection and mystical way of finding that out, which he did, which is awesome. Yeah. And so, like he had to search if there was any Asgardian exceptions, special instructions. Nope.
And then there was the scene he keeps moving Thor everywhere, but because in the one scene, because Thor was holding onto the bookcase came with. He's like, "Oh, let's put that back," and he put Thor and the bookcase back, and that's when he breaks the bookcase. I didn't realize he was like, "Oh, let's put that back," and he just makes them all go back. Ah, yeah, and then he gets his revenge by calling on his hammer through his whole building.
Total Thor move. And speaking of classic stereotypical moves, Odin says, "Hey, sons, how's it going? I'm barely going to look at you, and I'm going to contradict everything you say, but I'm not as strong as you. No, you're stronger. And, like, I need you. No, you don't. Like, fine, whatever. You're not helpful."
Yeah. Oh, great. Not helpful again.
Yeah, very mystical and mysterious, but
yeah, it's not very helpful. Can you
just tell me to bring her to Asgard and then enact Ragnarok? That would make me understand the plan, and then we'd have fucking motives.
Yeah, I'd have a jump on this. I'd be done by 7:00 tonight.
Yeah, right? But no, you're just going to be like, all right, you're going to take care of this. Bye.
But hey, we wouldn't have the amazing movie we have without...
That's right. Thank you for Taika Waititi.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
That's true, though.
Yeah, he takes him to Norway. Which is that where?
I don't think they filmed it there.
Right, but it's supposed to be Norway, or at least Sorcerer Supreme tells him that he's in Norway.
Mm-hmm. And yes, that's where he brings the Asgardians.
Is it?
Yep.
Because I thought it was like somewhere in Oklahoma or some crap.
What?
No, that's right. No, that's right. It's like I'm sorry, Oklahoma.
He's not going to OK. He's going to Norway.
Okay, that's better.
That's a good rhyme too.
But
I'm gonna write that to Drake or somebody. Use that.
I'd be happy if it's this spot, but this spot has no houses or homes or roads or anything.
That's why it's perfect. Fresh slate. What are they? You want houses to be here? They could just rob and pillage the houses of the people that are living there.
That's how they do. Viking style.
No, it is cool. I think it was a town that they built. So I don't know if it was where they are right now, but For some reason,
when we get to that movie, we'll cover that.
yeah, Odin obviously had some sort of connection with Norway.
Right?
Yeah.
It's summarized that humanity got their misinterpretation of Norse gods by Odin being on Midgard and
Chilling,
and
enjoying the view.
I think it was there was a small fight with the frost giants or something like that.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that. In the first movie, they're like 495 BC. I was like, oh shit.
I also think Thor disguises his Mjolnir as an umbrella in reference to the comics. I think the Dr. Donald, whatever he was in the comics, also disguised his hammer as an umbrella. And so that was I think a little reference there.
That's pretty cool. But right after Odin disappears into golden dust, we meet Kate Blanchett's Hela, is the sister, and from what I've heard, just source name was basically taken from the comics, and not a lot of the powers and backstory was applied, or changed drastically, I should say.
Right. Yeah, it was.
Which is cool. She definitely fits. She fits inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe really well.
Yeah, it's interesting power that she has of just being able to
like conjure blades.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm guessing she's super strong. She can maybe fly to a certain degree.
And stabs don't do anything to her either.
Yeah, she gets stabbed a lot.
Yeah.
At least 4 times in this movie. Twice by Thor, and then a couple times by randos.
Yeah, another thing. Okay, so when she crushes Mjolnir, man, my heart cracks every time into as many bits as Mjolnir does. I'm struggling. Like I couldn't imagine Thor could just crack his Mjolnir. I mean, but then you see in the ceiling painting that she first used Mjolnir as her weapon. She was depicted wielding Mjolnir,
holding it. Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. Like, so it wasn't a weapon that Odin had made for Thor, or had created for Thor, but rather for an older sister, and something that he just passed on to Thor.
Yeah, That's crazy. Seems like it was more of a channeling device for both of them, more than it was a lightning channeling device for Thor. Yeah, pretty cool.
Speaking of channeling, it's the blade here in the room that creates the Rainbow Bridge, the Bifrost. Summoning the Bifrost is built into that sword. So something about Asgardians is that they, I'm guessing, after Odin conquered the 9 realms with Hela and then became a benevolent king, he used that influence as the king to tell the dwarves who worked with Uru to make artifacts such as the sword, such as his spears,
the hammer.
The hammer. All of the Asgardian artifacts seem to be made by these dwarves. I mean, I don't know if Asgardians create stuff. I don't see it. So it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if that sword is made by the dwarves, but because it's a weapon that channels magical energy or some crap, I imagine it's like all the other artifacts that I've seen that are created by the dwarves. I don't know. It's curious to me. But I do like, I mean, I guess Asgardians live 5,000 years, and they also have access to magically crafted stuff brought to Asgard by Odin or maybe other Asgardians. I'm just saying they're not strong, they're not smart, but they have a utopia and magical artifacts that help do things. I'm just saying it's weird.
That sounds like
a fictional story. All right, so Hela comes back, and Loki gets scared and tells Heimdall to immediately open up the portal.
I made a note about how cool I thought it was that they got their asses beat outside of the rainbow portal back to the Bifrost, back to the Rainbow Bridge.
Right.
So they get summoned, and Hela obviously probably jumped in the fucking thing,
right,
and catches up to them, and forces Loki out first, and then Thor ends up spiraling out and lands in a science fiction paradise. In my opinion, this world, Sakaar, feels so incredibly lived in. I fucking love it.
It is absolutely used and lived in. I agree, but it is such a crazy concept. They explain it when Thor goes through the Sakaar welcoming chair ride.
After he gets kidnapped by the drunk lady.
Right. So Sakaar is a planet that I think that said the Grandmaster created this place, or was the first one to find it. I'm not sure.
He was the first one to find it. Yeah.
They said it's like located really outside of the known universe, not outside, but on the edges of the known universe, and it's surrounded by gateways to all the lost places in the galaxy, and lost and forgotten things just fall into this planet always. Yeah. Crazy to conceive.
Yep.
Crazy to conceive, but a super comic book like environment. I love it.
And while they're explaining that, they're playing the "Come with me, and you'll see."
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Thor is deterred by shocking nets, by
and
a
shocking disc that gets shot on his neck. Yeah.
Right. Lightning. I mean, when he punches Hulk, when he jumps down from Asgard's tower to the bridge to fight the Ghoul army, he's covered in lightning, so he's not bothered by that. I think it's convenient.
Yeah, it feels a little inconsistent, but if you look at the makeup job, it's probably CGI. I say makeup job. It's probably definitely CGI. His veins. Yeah. Look at his veins every time they do a electric jab at him. It definitely seems it's probably nervous system oriented more than just a shock to his system. So that was my defense of that. But I totally agree.
Lightning rather than
you're right. It doesn't seem right. They throw shocking things on him, and she pushes a button and it shocks him. It's like, well, he's the god of thunder. He should be like Tony Stark, like absorbing that power and punishing the person that did it to him. But yeah,
I'd accept more like if they listed a neck dart that paralyzed him or something. I don't know.
For being an OP Avenger, he's definitely leveled on Sakaar. Yeah, his powers just seem to be convenient in this movie, which is fine. It was more of a fun ride than a serious.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, and she takes him to meet the Grandmaster.
Yeah. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. Yeah, so me too. The woman that drunkenly picks him up, takes him to the Grandmaster, and that's when we hear
I also want to point out that not only did she drunkenly pick him up, but after the people, I don't know, gave her some gruff, the scavengers that are out in the outside the city gave her some gruff, she activated her ship weapons and then just obliterated them all.
Oh yeah. I was like, okay,
yeah.
We're gonna go like that now, Marvel. I see.
Yeah. So she's not at all qualms about murdering scavengers.
Nope.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Are you a fighter or are you food? I'm just passing through. He's like, food then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she takes him to go see the Grandmaster. Hela goes to, which again, another moment of someone having the wind taken out of their bellows. She's like, I was once the great daughter of Odin, ruler of the 9 realms, but why'd we stop there? I came here to bring us back to our previous glory. My name's Hela. She goes on this whole rant.
Right.
I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're here. But you need to leave now, or we will kill you. And she's like, are you kidding me? I just explained who I am. Yeah. Did you listen to a thing I just said? Yeah.
Again, Asgardians are not necessarily smart.
Apparently not, no. But yeah, she's not too happy with their response. They're obviously not happy that she's there. So she kills them all.
Yeah, very thoroughly.
Very thoroughly. And then we meet our Grandmaster.
Oh, man. I got to say, the chair ride is just such. I thank you, Taika, and the whole anybody who came up with this idea
And the
to
editing,
include.
whoever did the graphic editing, yeah, like
Yeah.
I might change my PC background to be the left monitor is behind Thor, and the right monitor is Thor on the chair, actively going through. Yeah, like this, where they're telling him about Sakaar and the first founder and everything.
He's got the Grandmaster's got the poses and such.
Yeah, the silhouette of his poses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the lights change, and it says you are the property of the Grandmaster.
Congratulations.
It gets all like hellscape and green and red and white and flashy, and then he fucking ultimately screams like a girl. And of course, when he opens his eyes, he's in a room of 40 people just looking at him, sitting on the chair, screaming like a little girl, and Grandmaster looks at him. Man, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
oh my god,
nailed it.
That's the kind of actor, the kind of personality we needed. Well, in the Marvel Universe, the Grandmaster is an elder of the galaxy, which is not necessarily like an ego.
Like a step down from ego. Maybe not Thanos, but a step down from ego.
Different class. But I think he is on a similar level, like the Collector. The Collector is also an elder.
Okay.
But I think that I'm not sure if the Marvel Universe has called the Collector or the Grandmaster elders.
The actual term elder yet.
Or if they're going to kind of lump them into a celestial-like ego. They're the last gods, like the Collector isn't concerned about mortal life and only wants to collect things. The Grandmaster isn't concerned about mortal life and only wants to rule his Sakaar. They're just kind of outside the main game.
Yeah.
And
they're not ambivalent or omniscient. They're just they're having the fun that they want to have.
Right.
That's so awesome.
Right? I do like all these characters, and
what do I say about Scrapper 142 every time I come around here? What do I say? It starts with a B. Trash. What? No, were you just waiting to call her trash? That doesn't even start with a B. It's the best. We call her the best. Yeah, he was such the touch of wacky that we needed in this movie.
That fit, right? Yeah, and he has like an attitude that is, I don't know, explains the whole temple. I mean, he likes fun. He likes things his way. He's got chairs that will confine a god and a rod that will melt you and turn you into a blue goo if you don't do what he says.
Yeah.
So
Carlo, I pardon you from life.
What a joke. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, so he properly introduces himself. We're basically led to believe that Thor is trapped as a fighter, and in order to gain his freedom, he has to defeat the Grandmaster's champion. Yeah, which this is the movie that made Teresa and I decide to not watch any more trailers for Marvel movies because...
Interesting, yeah.
Man, imagine going into this movie, fresh eyes, without seeing any trailers for the Hulk, and finding out the motherfucking Hulk is in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, it would have been so much better.
It would have been a really, really awesome surprise for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's not like it made the movie. I think that's maybe why they...
definitely not.
Yeah.
No, that's why they threw it in the advertising, because they wanted to bring people to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it when trailers show all the key parts of the movie that you're going to really enjoy. And then those parts that are in the trailer is what makes the movie. And so you're basically feeling cheated when you actually do go see the 2-hour thing and you're like, yeah, I got that gist from the trailer.
Yeah, I didn't need to. I could have just watched fucking 5 trailers you launched on YouTube and gotten the whole premise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the case with this one. I totally get it. I understand why they did it.
Another thing I want to point out there in that scene where he talks to the Grandmaster. No, he talks to Loki. It's revealed that he doesn't know. I don't know. I've never seen this person before in my life. He's my brother.
Yeah.
And then he goes, adopted. So
Yeah.
already he's deeply lying,
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. He's like, wait, what? Why am I in a chair? I was like, well, why are you in a chair? I don't know. Where's your chair? I didn't get a chair.
Yeah, I need you to help me. I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh my god, it's so good.
So he gets thrown into the gladiator a waiting area, and he gets to meet which I think is one of your favorite characters of the MCU.
Oh my god, the best character of the MCU. Korg. Taika Waititi's Korg. Hello.
Well, I could do Optimus Prime. Yeah,
not just a pile of rocks. I'm a real being. Hello, nice to meet you. Yeah, I love Korg. He's amazing. He's like, Doug. Oh, all right. Doug's dead. That's right. Everyone who fights the Grandmaster perishes. Yeah, I love that he says perishes. And he's like, oh, those Asgardians, they are hard to perish.
What about you? You're made out of rock? Yeah, perishable rock, apparently.
Yeah, he sees like one little rock falls off. He's like, oh, yep, there it goes. Another one.
Gone.
Oh my god, he's so good. That's exactly what Doug used to say.
Yeah.
See you later, new Doug.
Yeah, and have you seen Jojo Rabbit by Taika Waititi?
Oh my god, yeah. That movie is so amazing.
Oh my god, that I cry so much. But
yeah, it's sad.
Right? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's pretty brutal.
You're watching it with somebody, you're like, hold on, I'm turning into a jellyfish of my head, so just fucking don't look at me.
Yeah. I just cut my eyes open as wide as they can be so the tears don't well up in there. Yeah. But no, that's a good movie. Speaking of, I just thought of a random funny tweet that I read. It said, float like a butterfly, jellyfish. Okay, I got this. Sting like a bee, jellyfish. Man, I'm fucking nailing this. I just thought that was really, really funny. Anyway.
Man, I'm fucking nailing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what a jellyfish does.
I do float like a butterfly.
So after Thor gets sent to the waiting room, then we go back to Asgard. What I really liked about this movie is that we didn't spend much time in Asgard, as much time as we did in the previous movies. There's a lot of
Asgard, or whatever.
Yeah, Asgard. So we go back and find out that Hela's dropping some truth bombs on our boy Karl Urban.
Yeah.
She hires him as her executioner and tells him that Odin's treasures are fake, and she tells him that he carved his kingdom out from blood and tears, and she breaks a mosaic in the main hall like a jerk. And then she takes the, what is it called? The flame of the eternal flame.
The eternal flame, right.
And brings it down to she says the graves of the fallen soldiers of Asgard are laid beneath this chamber, and she drops down there and I guess ignites them all with a green flame and revives her giant puppy, her big wolf dog.
Yeah, so those are, you said, ancient warriors of Asgard?
They were prior warriors of Asgard, yes, that died in battle and were buried below treasure chamber. Yeah.
Sure. Interesting, though. It's interesting. I mean, I know I've seen this movie a couple times, and I know this scene, but I don't know. I think every time I saw it, I'm like, generic ghoul army. Roger, this is where he come from.
This is nameless zombie army we can fight and not feel bad about.
Yeah, but ancient Asgardians is even more interesting because Asgardians talk about Valhalla. Why would they bury their people? Why would they not give them regular burials? I don't know.
Well, they buried them all under the chamber. I don't know. Maybe it was a higher honor to be buried under here.
It's likely Taika Waititi convenient storying, but I mean, I'm just saying, there's Valhalla. You know, they Vikings set their dead on fire on a boat and let them go. They don't bury them. I'm just saying.
No,
it's
you're not wrong. These are Asgardian.
Yeah, Aspergians.
Watch out, his fingers make sparks.
Yeah, Lord of Sparkles.
Loki comes and tries to plead with Thor,
yeah,
unsuccessfully, and then Thor goes on to fight the Grandmaster's champion, and we get the big reveal that it's the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, which is so glorious.
Yeah, and I loved the scene when Thor and Loki are talking. So the first setup scene, he throws a couple things at him and realizes he's not actually there, so it just phases through him. And
Right.
right after he disappears, Korg runs up as Taika Waititi's like, "Oh, piss off, Ghost!" He tries to kick him.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy quote that shit all the time. Piss off, Ghost! Kicks him. Then we have Thor first explaining to Korg his special relationship with his hammer.
Yeah.
Then he
Pulled you off?
gross, man. I would pull you off. No, pull me off the ground and pull me off the ground. He finds out that our kidnapper was a Valkyrie.
I would have expected would have known by, he recognizes it by seeing a tattoo or a brand that's on her left under forearm. But I don't know. It seems to me the metallic face drawings.
Those, I feel like on the face, those are new tattoos.
I don't know. I didn't know if they're tattoos. But for some reason, it feels Asgardian to me. Like
the face tattoos?
Yeah.
Feels Sicarian to me.
Oh, interesting.
I don't see, when I look at the face tattoos, I see Sicarian. When I look at her, when I look at her wrist tattoo, I think Asgard. I don't know.
Very cool. Very cool. It was questionable to me when I first watched it. Like, maybe the face paint isn't it obviously isn't something that's recognizable as Valkyrian.
Yeah.
But for some reason in my head, I thought it was. So
you got to get out of there, okay?
Yeah,
it's
I gotta get
clearly
out
not safe in there.
And then our Stan Lee cameo as the hairstylist.
Stan Lee cameo number 17, and that line I heard that he delivers before he cuts his hair. He's like, "So sit still, son. My hands aren't as steady as they used to be." And Thor says, "By Odin's beard, I say blah blah blah." Apparently, somebody had written, when they found out Taika was directing it, they wrote him a shitload of times and asked him to say, "Please, for the love of God, use the line by Odin's beard," and he delivered on that request and had him say, "By Odin's beard, you will not cut my hair." Yeah, because I guess he says that a lot in the comics. Is by Odin's beard, something something something.
It's interesting. I was expecting also after seeing this movie that I was going to see at least some people in the real world, some try out the Thor type new haircut of a regular haircut with, for some reason,
cuts,
gouges that go down, gouges that go down to the scalp for some reason. But
it does look cool on him,
right? You just got to be Chris Hemsworth to fucking pull it off.
You got to be ripped and 6'4" and Australian and hot and yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'd do Chris Hemsworth.
That's I'd hold his hand.
You're pretty, Chris.
Exactly. He'd be all blushing and shit. Yeah. I wouldn't even be able to handle it.
Yeah, do you like me?
Yeah. Exactly. I'd just be a sweating, nervous wreck the whole time. And he's the worst part is, you hear like how nice he is in real life. It's like, well, that just makes me even more intimidated. Like he's gonna out
you too.
Exactly, he's gonna out nice me, out funny me. He's already
That's the only thing I got going for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a great guy. I'm so glad he decided to stick around. Yes. Then our big green reveal, and he says, "Yes." He says, "Coworker," or what is it? We know each other from work.
Which I also heard that line was written in by a fan, or like it was a contest, and somebody was able to suggest that line.
He's a friend from work. They're like, what?
Like that clarifies anything to them.
Exactly. And he looks at Loki, and Loki just he just clears his throat.
Yeah. Okay. And so this fight is freaking amazing. I love the back and forth between Thor and Hulk. I also liked it when how the battle changed to Thor's to work for Thor once he got that hammer that Hulk was originally having. Like, he's really good with hammers.
Are you Thor, god of hammers? Oh, he might be. He might be.
I mean, I could have been.
Yeah. But he gets his ass kicked before getting the Hulk off his back.
Yeah, with the Hulk just smashing his head over and over again.
Oh
that would fuck up anybody.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Now that you said that the white things on Valkyrie's head looks Sicarian, I noticed the white on Hulk, and I'm like, you're totally right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you look at some of the other characters that are from Sakaar, they also have very similar shaped tattoos and whatnot.
Like, yeah, it's like circuitry tattoos or some weird shit.
No Thor or no Banner, only Hulk. So yeah, we learned that that Hulk has been Hulk for shit since he left Sokovia in what was that, Ultron?
Years, but we don't know how long here.
Yeah, we don't know how long here. I assume a long time.
Right? Yeah, and he's locked Banner out, and I think early on in the fight when Thor was talking to him, had he not referred to him as Banner so much, Hulk might not have attacked him.
Agreed.
So had he just called him Hulk and been happy with him, he might have been like, hey, I got a friend again. No, I'm not fighting. No, I don't like.
Nope. But instead, another day, another Doug. So, yeah, Thor gets his ass walloped after the Grandmaster shocks him right before he was going to defeat Hulk. There's no doubt about it. But
yeah, even though later when Banner asked him, did I win the fight? He's like, no, I won easily.
Yeah, easily. That doesn't sound right. Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how like he's insecure, but the way he says it, you know that he's not. He's just joking.
Yeah.
You know, like like, but the words he says are the words of an insecure person. But the way he says it is more, or when 99% joke.
When Banner logs into the Quinjet, it's welcome, strongest Avenger. He's like, what?
What? Yeah, that was so good.
He was delivered that line so fucking well. What?
What? Yeah, because he tried to log in with the strongest Avenger like twice.
Yeah, he's like Thor, Thor Odin's son. He's like, strongest Avenger. He's like, damn you, Stark. Point Break. Welcome, Point Break. Wait, was Chris Hemsworth in Point Break? Hold on. Is that a fucking meta joke?
It was Point Break. Tony Stark called him Point Break because his hair was long.
Yeah, I know, but the new one.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Is this a meta joke? I know it's Patrick. Isn't it Patrick Swayze?
That was in the old one.
That's the old one. It's Patrick
Swayze, Keanu Reeves.
Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. Man, if Hemsworth is in the new one, I'm gonna freak out. Meta jokes. No, what? It's not.
No, it was just calling him a surfer dude.
Yeah,
is basically what I'm.
Edgar Ramirez and Luke Bracey.
There you go.
Man, can you imagine though if they had like thrown in like a massive meta joke at us? Like, whew. I would have been like, Taika, you did it. You son of a bitch, you did it.
You son of a bitch. I'm in.
So we have another meme that we get from this movie, aside from a naked Hulk. Okay, so first of all, this movie...
You do get to see the top of Hulk ass.
Yeah, we get a lot of Hulk that we never got before. He was only in Avengers 1, Avengers 2... Incredible Hulk, and shit, that's it. And in this movie is the first one we hear him speaking, eating, bathing, wearing clothes, competing in an arena, like,
which is, I think, a slower walk towards them meeting in the middle. Like, I bet you Hulk was crazy Hulk for the first, for a long time when he was here.
Yeah.
And he slowly brought in the Banner thoughts to make his life easier, so he didn't have to always run.
So he didn't always have to smash. No, that makes I'd jump on that fucking thought train all day. That makes sense to me.
Well, and then also when we get Banner later, Banner has no memory of the events in this time period, and well, he's very scared of the prospect of turning into Hulk and never turning back. So he doesn't feel like he's made progress with Hulk. I think seeing Hulk in this somewhat, it's not smart Hulk, obviously.
No.
But it's not insane
dumb.
Hulk.
Yeah, it's not constantly raged Hulk. Yeah, we see him laughing. Right. He plays a joke on Thor.
Right.
He helps Thor achieve he helps him connive.
Oh, damn it. You know what? It might have even been Valkyrie who made Hulk become less Hulk and more Banner, because
she was able to check him.
Yeah, because they knew each other. They hung out. They knew each other. So I imagine that, I'm guessing that, this is just my imagination, but Hulk in the past and this Valkyrie lady, I would say that Hulk maybe thought the Valkyrie lady's akin to the Black Widow, or some kind of, like King Kong likes the lady.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, the blonde woman.
It's right. It's basically just the idea of a lady and home and an invitation to relax and be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I love when they're walking out. It's like, hey, big guy. Hey, little girl. It's like, what have you been up to? Winning.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Taika Waititi did such a good job directing the actors in this movie and the writers for this movie. All the comedy, action, everything. This is the perfect. This is the truest Marvel film in my eyes.
Ooh, wow, that's solid. I don't know. I like.
It hits. It hits all the action marks. Look, that's a comic book frame when Heimdall is after he talks to our hero about where the Asgardians are and where they're hiding and what's going on with Hela. We see Heimdall using his blade to cut through zombies that are coming after the people he's rescuing. And man, the frame is just... God, he looks all cool. He's not like clean cut and wearing his cool helmet anymore. He's got some, he's got some dreads, and he's wearing a cloak.
Speaking of Heimdall and Idris Elba, I gotta say, super props to Idris Elba to play Heimdall, and I play Heimdall very well, even though he has like a C plot at best whenever he's in the movie.
Oh my, yeah, but I care so much about Heimdall.
Totally. Yeah, no, I'm just saying he really fills out that role. He was just never written too primarily in, I mean, this is the most movie which we get most Heimdall, and it's a C plot. It's the A plot is Thor, B plot is the sub characters of Hulk and Valkyrie and Loki, and then C plot is Heimdall, and D is the rest of the Asgardians. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But man, so it's like lowercase a, or it's like capital A, lowercase b, big capital C, and the font has been increased a couple times, and then lowercase d.
I'm just saying he does it really well.
Yeah.
He's never treating the part as anything less of a than he's proud Heimdall. That I couldn't think of anybody who's mainly phoning it in this movie. I don't know.
Maybe Matt Damon.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. He did a good job being a ham. That's so funny.
But yeah, no, he's always plays like his role has a lot of significance, and in a sense it does, but in actual plot it really doesn't. Like, Hela needs the sword because she wants to be able to use the Bifrost and not just be stuck in Asgard, I'm guessing. She could also think that she's immortal and she's got all the time in the world. There's no rush.
She wants to conquer. She's like, why did we stop at 9 realms? She wants to conquer everything, all of the things.
As a typical bad guy of all these MCU movies.
But I love that they don't focus on her. Like, she's not like, it's not like a Darren Cross where he's trying to undermine them at every turn, or a Obadiah Stane. He's trying to figure out what they're doing in the background all the time. She's just kind of there. And
yeah, no,
Thor,
she has her inevitable future that she knows is coming, kind of thing.
Yeah, and Thor is just kind of basically just trying to. To me, it feels like there's a plot happening. Thor fell out of it, and he's just trying to make his way back to it. And then it does happen, but it happens in his favor. I don't know. This movie just felt like a deconstructed version of a traditional Marvel movie.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he gets stuck on Sakaar in a completely different environment. He has completely different challenges unrelated to his real issue.
Yeah. They took the Hamlet out of Thus Thine and Thusly, and they stuck him in a fucking Star Wars movie. That's fucking awesome. Right. He's a fish out of water so much.
When freaking Hulk has to walk through the Quinjet and break it, it was so... Like, oh my God, what are you doing?
You're ruining his way home, you asshole.
Yeah. And then just the face of Black Widow.
Oh my God, him
cracks the Hulk.
Basically makes him start punching himself, trying to remain angry.
The Hulk is sensing that Banner's coming back, and he's like, no.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so messed. And his transformation in this film is so violent. He gets tiny and huge in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, he's not happy with the whole situation.
No. And then he eventually slowly turns small, but the transformation between big and small really freaked me out.
Right? Yeah, it was jarring and fast. Because that's what I was saying earlier about how Banner is something that Hulk used to connect with Valkyrie. That's likely why Banner feels like he knows Valkyrie a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, exactly. That's why they keep saying, I feel like I know you too. It's weird.
Right.
It's because they had a little bit of personality rub off on each other, and Banner's personality was coming out of the Hulk. I completely agree.
Totally.
Yeah. So he tells. So we get Banner back, which is cool. Now we see Bruce Banner and Thor, whom we haven't seen in a Marvel movie since Age of Ultron.
Avengers.
And we learn that he has been the Hulk for 2 years, which is pretty fucking scary.
Right. He's just been enjoying the gladiatorial life, which I'd imagine Hulk would find fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
This is exactly
paradise for the Hulk.
Exactly.
And I think this is probably the closest we'll get to a Planet Hulk live-action movie.
Absolutely. It's what it was taken from, for sure.
Yeah. A little backstory. So the Grandmaster, this morning I woke up thinking about a public execution. But now I'm hearing about a little this, a little that. Go get him. It's between Valkyrie and Loki to go find Thor, who he thinks stole his prized champion, the Hulk.
Right.
Cool backstory behind the Valkyries, which was really sweet. So my question, is this them going after her after she's been banished? The Valkyries, it looks like they're like coming into a realm where it doesn't seem like there's anybody else there but her.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
I think they explained that, and I'm not too clear on it. I think that after Odin banished her to the underworld, Hela was trying to fight back, and so Odin sent the Valkyries to seal her in, and they did with their lives, I guess. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that Odin does express that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that visually, that's what it looks like.
Right, they confronted her last chance at freedom.
Yeah. After the Hulk turns back into Banner and him and Thor have to run away, all their scenes together to me felt ad-libbed. Like most of the scenes after this movie with all the actors felt, if it wasn't like crucial to the plot, it felt ad-libbed.
Yeah. Which it absolutely adds something more to it. It makes it more realistic and lessens the drama, in my opinion. Like, I don't know if drama is the right word. Maybe majesty, destiny, the real,
the weight, the weight of the moments. Yeah,
right.
That's what I love about it.
Like these people in these situations just making it up as they go, which. How could you? I couldn't imagine having such a tense situation and my attitude about it not being so panicked.
To be just nonchalant. Yeah, I mean, fuck it, you're a god, whatever.
Lord of Sparkles.
I think our great champion was taken by the seductive Lord of Thunder, seductive God of Thunder.
Oh. Another thing I like about this, so when they're agreeing that they're going to leave, she says that we'll refuel our ship and then we'll head to Asgard and be there in something like 18 months. So where Sakaar is, apparently 18 months of starship travel from Asgard So
through the proper channels.
Far,
yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Through a regular starship travel. He says, no, I want to go through the best named mysterious hole in a weird cosmic planet, but they call it the Devil's Anus.
And then they try to science it up with Banner throwing it's a collapsing dark star with an Einstein-Rosen bridge or whatever the fuck he says.
Right.
So clearly, Banner is familiar with whatever it is, but the fact that they call it the Devil's Anus.
And the Einstein-Rosen bridge is what Jane from Thor
that's what she
1 and 2 felt that that's what she felt the Rainbow Bridge was. Which is interesting. Which is, obviously, meaning as a teleportation path to somewhere else.
Yeah.
A bridge. You know what I mean?
What you call science, we call magic. When I come from a place where they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So.
Classic Thor.
Classic Thor. And I love that, so earlier in the movie, he throws objects at Loki and they go through them. Because he's not actually there. So as soon as he sees Loki for the first time, he picks up a can and just chucks it at his head.
Yeah.
It's just, ow.
Yeah, you just got to make sure.
Yeah.
Because he does it all the fucking time. It's going to be a good check.
So Thor's plan is their plan is to steal a ship, start a revolution, and escape through the Devil's Anus. And their first step on that plan is to arm Korg. He just says, "Who are you?" And then she just throws him a gun. Lord of Thunder sends his best. And he's like, "The revolution has begun." I just love that. I forgot what he was talking about. He was talking about something completely different. She just throws him a gun. He says, "The revolution has begun." He's just ready for it instantly.
Yeah, and Korg there is like throwing maybe a long shotgun-like weapon, which he uses, I'm sure, for this revolution. But later, when we see them on Asgard, he has this gigantic mace-like thing. It's
that thing's badass. Whatever it is.
It looks like a gigantic mace, but it mainly works as a gun. He just shoots it like a gun.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
I found it pretty funny that it was.
And then another funny thing I noticed. So speaking of Korg, there's Meek, his little insect buddy.
Yeah. With the knives.
Meek is just like a fucking a tadpole or a newt or something that has his whole his whole body is an animatronic suit that he controls. I didn't realize that until this playthrough viewing.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
We know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we get Thor and Loki teaming up.
Yeah, it doesn't last too long. Thor sees right through it from the start, and Loki does his classic creating image of himself, continuing to walk forward as and being a partner to Thor, all while planning to betray him. And then he reveals that Loki reveals that he's actually disappeared and was working on a council to alert Grandmaster of Thor's location, but Thor had already predicted that and placed the electrocuting little nub on Loki's back and turned him to zap and
leaves him there,
in the writhing pain of that zapping machine.
Oh yeah. And then we get a really awesome ground space chase. Sci-fi chase scene.
I really liked it. And I cracked up so much. And I hear it still to this day in my head when it's my birthday. That's my new birthday song. Like little holographic fireworks and
Grandmaster dancing. It's my birthday. Yeah.
It's my birthday. Yeah. It's so great.
Oh yeah, and then they throw Banner back in the in the ship.
He barely holds on.
Yeah, she says she flies under Thor's ship, and she's like, "I hope you're tougher than you look." And he's got a huge smile on his face. He's like, "Haha, why?" And she just ejects his fucking seat, and he flies into Thor's ship, and Thor just looks back at him, barely making it, like almost falling out the other side, and just laughs. I was like, if there was an equivalent to a Guardians of the Galaxy moment, and Drax laughing at something ridiculous. It'd be that right there.
The primary guard of Grandmaster also has those white line tattoos. You're totally right. It's very Sakaran.
Oh yeah, the one that calls her trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she's having a good time.
Oh yeah, it just said laughing underneath as the subtitle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The action sequence. So her ship blows up and she lands on. He's like, "Get in." She's like, "In a minute." And then she goes and starts fucking up ships. And Thor's like, "Oh shit, I should be out there doing that." he grabs Banner and puts him down there. He's like, "I don't know how to fly." Yeah, I don't know how to fly a spaceship. He's like, "You're a scientist. Use one of your PhDs." He just said minutes ago that Hulk has 0 PhDs. You know how many PhDs Banner has? 7.
That's why I prefer you.
Yeah. No,
he lies to both
of them. Banner's all numbers and science. Hulk's all smashy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, that was another meme we got from this movie. Is he though? Banner's
very powerful.
Banner's helpful. Is he though?
Yeah. Awesome chase scene. It's my birthday.
So they fly through the Devil's Anus after a great birthday fireworks song, and they end up on Asgard, where the people give up the location of Heimdall hiding in the mountains. So they go hunt for him, and as they do, that's when our heroes show up to the Rainbow Bridge. Which, man, what a terrible design flaw. The only way in and out of Asgard is through one long laned
yeah, right.
single road. It just seems silly.
This is the Executioner in the Marvel comics. Do you see this picture?
Does he actually use an M16 in the comics?
Yeah.
What a badass. Is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
He looks like
Yeah.
He looks like Batman with an axe.
He was generally a bad guy, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
he was called Scourge the Executioner.
That sounds pretty cool.
Right? He was definitely a bad dude. Ready to kill anybody for whoever told him to.
Carl Urban's amazing.
Guaranteed.
We get our final battle scene on the bridge. So several things basically happen all at once in our third act. They arrive in Asgard. Asperg. Heimdall brings the people down to the bridge. The end of the bridge is blocked off by the wolf and the zombie army, and the other end of the bridge is blocked off by Scourge the Executioner. So it's up to our heroes to intervene.
Yeah, to prepare to take the wolf Fenrir. Thor, I'm not sure exactly where he got the gun. Throws a gun onto the ship with Banner and Valkyrie. That gun doesn't do much to Fenrir, unfortunately. But Thor goes to distract Hela and uses the Odin's spear. I'm not sure of its name, but he's wielding that instead of his hammer, and he doesn't last very long with it.
No, unfortunately.
You know, it's not a weak weapon too. So like, I'm surprised that its stab, because he does get a stab in with Hela, doesn't do much. I think Odin's weapon is probably
more powerful.
More powerful than just a spear.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And we also see like Odin just using it as a fucking super beam that he would blow away ice giants with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Also about Hela, further interesting to me that Odin created Hela first, and he created Hela apparently too strong, too violent and ambitious. That's weird. Why? I mean, why would you create something that you yourself couldn't stop?
Well, he was in his conquest years. He was young and naive, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
He wanted an executioner.
That's true. That's absolutely what he was, which is crazy.
Yeah. Where do you think all this gold came from?
Right. Like, how do we still look at Odin as benevolent? And especially in, like, 2020, when, like, we're much less forgiving for people who have made a racist post 25 years ago.
25 years ago,
yeah. Right. we're like, oh, your career's over. We found this 25-year-old post. Meanwhile,
Odin.
Odin wiped out probably anybody who gave him any resistance in all of the galaxy for a long fucking time until he said, you know what? I want to be benevolent and have Thor.
I want to be good now. Aw, look at you.
Yeah,
That's so nice of you.
I'm just going to put my goddess of death into a virtual prison and then have another kid.
And we'll all forget about that last kid, right? Right. Yeah, you will, right? You'll forget about that last kid, right? Yes, we will, Odin. Yes. Haha, you're such a benevolent king.
Yeah. So Thor confronts Hela, stabs her with Odin's spear, which she basically just pushes off and shrugs off.
Yeah.
And then continues to throw Thor around, leading to a point. Oh yes, I remember.
She swipes.
Leading to, cutting up his eye.
Yep, with the tip of her sword.
I will say it bothered me for the whole rest of this movie that I could tell that his lost eye is just his eye with black makeup on, closed. Like they didn't CGI a hole in his head. They just put black makeup on his eyeball and said, keep it closed.
Yeah. Watch it on a lower resolution TV. It's more convincing.
Agreed. Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It is just his eye closed with black makeup.
We're in the era of CGI. You could just make an empty hole.
Yeah.
But that might be gross. Thank you, Taika Waititi, for just sorting through my thoughts and picking out what's really important.
Oh, yeah, this movie's it's so good.
And then here comes Hulk revealing to Valkyrie who he really is as he leaps out of the starship to become Hulk, but only lands as a cadaver on the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, so
Fenrir just sniffs him and continues to charge forward, but only gets so far, and then is tugged nonchalantly back as Hulk roars.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah!
Shows his green boyness, and
Valkyrie's like, huh.
Which this fight with Fenrir and Hulk seems to be one of Hulk's hardest next to Surtur, because unlike
dog pierces skin.
Exactly. We've never seen his skin being pierced before in MCU. So a god dog can pierce his skin with his tooth, which is crazy.
Yep. So a projectile can't do it, but a fucking jaw, big ass dog jaw with giant teeth will rip right through that poor Hulk skin.
Yeah, which really pisses off Hulk.
More of our heroes show up to help while everything's looking worse and worse. Hela's even showing Thor how bad things are. Loki shows up and he says, "Your savior is here." Takes the
which is cool.
Glory as he would.
Yeah.
Starts saving all the people. Oof. I forgot Hela stabs while she's showing Thor that. That's when Loki shows up and
it looks right through the center of his spine.
Right in the spine, like to a point where he would probably be paralyzed.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I don't know. Have we seen Thor bleed at all?
Yeah.
I don't think we have.
He gets cuts and stuff.
Does he?
Yeah. I mean, they put makeup on him like as if he's cut and shit. And she just cut his eye out.
The eye, yes. But that was a sword wound inflicted by Hela. I don't think previously in the MCU we've seen him bleed.
Well, in like Infinity War and stuff, he's got like cut scars and like his face in this couple of these fight scenes. Yeah, he's got red and stuff. But yeah, not really, not too much. You know, gods don't bleed.
It was just something I was thinking of, like how Hela recovered from stab wounds just by having a body again without a stab wound. I think Thor is likely doing as well. I mean, he just had a stab wound to his spine or through his back in any way. It was a 4 to 6 inch extension from her elbow, and she descended that into his back, which if it didn't hit his spine, it went through his ribs and pierced his lungs, guaranteed. If he can't recover from stab wounds, he's dead at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So So as much as Hela can recover from stab wounds, as we saw with the spear, I imagine Thor can too. I mean, they already could do the impressive thing of changing their clothes on a whim.
Which is really cool. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the beginning. Is them, him and Loki revealing their actual clothing.
Yeah, I don't understand how. I mean,
it's pretty cool.
It's a weird power to specify. So he realizes he's the god of lightning, and then starts using it. So fucking cool. And I gotta say, whatever money they spent on
to get
acquiring
immigrant song,
yeah,
and the
worth it,
and the song in the beginning too.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah.
Worth
it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much fits. The end scene with him running across the bridge, fucking people up with lightning. I feel like there's like 5 or 6 frames that are right out of a comic book.
Absolutely what we want to see with Thor unleashing. I mean, it's unfortunately on the dead spirits of Asgard. You'd think he'd have some kind of affection towards them, some kind of preference to not stab them and just lead them to their Valhalla or eternal rest. Or, I mean, there's some kind of sacredness. Why else would that army be buried underneath? I don't know. I'm just saying it's weird for that not only to be a zombie army for Hela right away, and then for fellow Asgardians to not feel anything for their dead being used against them. I mean, thank you, Taika Waititi, for not giving us useless information on the plot, but I mean, it does confuse me. Like,
yeah.
Hela has basically had enough and joins them on the bridge, in which it definitely feels as though Thor and Hela are more evenly matched. Well, where they can give a tit for tat, Thor is knocking her down while she's diving away and also casting spears that hit him in the pectoral muscle just for a second. They're definitely, going on one-on-one. Hela is handling the Valkyrie a lot easier than she handles Thor, but she handles Thor nonetheless.
Yeah.
And after that, as the ship tries to escape, she launches an enormous spear from the oceans of Asgard that pierces the starship's, I don't know, it looks like airlock. It's like right at the doorway of the ship.
Yeah, and this is where Scourge gets to prove himself.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
maybe not prove himself, but he definitely makes up for some of his previous
I won't say it's a complete redemption. It's just he's not going to be a total asshole.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, he decides to turn. He even didn't want to help Thor and Loki and wanted to hide among the weak, dumb Asgardians on the ship. And only when the ship was further threatened did he stand up and use the guns that he had. You know what I mean?
Where the hell did he have those, by the way?
Yeah, right. All under that ginormous gray cloak he just so happened to...
Yeah, and who the hell's not going to recognize that he's wearing like giant plate armor under that cloak?
Right. Well, thanks for Taika Waititi for not explaining this.
God. Yeah, thank you for not over-explaining things, but man, I want over-explanation so I can complain about that.
Thor leaves it to Loki to find the eternal flame in the skull and reunite it with the skull, the crown of Surtur, and therefore reignite the existence of Surtur. And now that Surtur's on Asgard, he's going to bring about Ragnarok. I loved the scene in which you see the helmet, the crown
starting to form the face behind it and the body. Yeah, pretty sweet.
Yeah, and that makes the last line of Thor to Hela. I don't know if it's the last line, but the line of like, you can't defeat me.
I know, but he can.
The casual thumb behind him, beautiful.
Oh yeah,
and
also a meme. Yeah. So then Surtur destroys. Surtur.
Yeah, relishes the destruction of. Luckily, evacuated Asgard.
Yes.
So he's crushing an empty town. So beautiful. My first experience in the movie, seeing in the background the blurry image of Hulk running along the Rainbow Bridge after seeing Surtur, and then just leaping into the air.
Yeah. No fucks given.
The long jump onto Surtur's head where he punches a couple times, making cracks in the helmet, and Surtur so gracefully uses his index and thumb to barely pick Hulk off of his helmet and chuck him.
Yeah, like.
But I mean, Surtur could have just hand thwatted his his crown and just completely buried Hulk in between his molten face and his molten hand. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
He could have killed him outright. Just
he was very gentle and graceful with Hulk. It's convenient, was hilarious, beautiful, and like a lot of things in this movie, confusing. I love it.
Yeah.
Then they continue to show Thor in enormously well-lit scenes where, again, we could just see he's closing his eye. It's so much.
Well, I mean, just because your eye's been taken out doesn't mean your eyelid's gone. You can still have a missing eye with eyelids.
That's a good point, but man.
Like, when you're born...
So does he have a fraction of an eyeball in his socket?
Well, when she hits him, I imagine she hits him with just the tip of the blade. I don't imagine he's missing an eye. I imagine it's just fucked.
Oh my god,
so
that's
he's
gross.
Probably just got his eye closed just to...
Oh my grossness.
Yes.
Can you imagine having a fucking split eyeball in your eye?
No, I can't. That's why I imagine after he puts the patch on, he's probably taken the eye out.
Yeah.
Because then it's an open cavity later that he's able to fill with a
not only that,
gift
he
from
must
Rocket.
like sever the eyeball from the optic nerve.
Yep.
Oh.
But hey, he don't bleed.
Oh. Yeah.
He don't bleed.
We could rebuild it.
Yeah, the foundations are strong. The people who come here for all walks of life and treat this as a new place and then it explodes even more. Those foundations are gone.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And he sits on the throne of his starship without Asgard anymore. He is bringing Asgard with him. And Meek is dead. He stepped on him earlier. Oh, but wait, no, he's alive.
He's actually alive. And our first post-credit scene is them coming across Thanos' ship. It's much, much larger. So Loki says, "Do you really think it's a good idea for us to come back to Earth?" And he says, "I mean, for me to come back to Earth." And then that's when we see the ship looming over their ship, and it dwarfs it in comparison.
Yeah, the dwarfs the ship that they're on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then our last after credit scene, which is a lot funnier, is the Grand Master explaining to them that they wouldn't have a coup if it weren't for a terrible person to overthrow, and he's happy to have filled that role. And now it's over, and it was a tie. I think that's the last thing he says. He's like, "Good job. It was a tie."
I wonder if he was able to charm them into believing that.
Probably was.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so, because I don't want to see the end of the Grand Master. I'd love to see him in Phase 4.
Yeah.
The hair of the assistants in the background, ridiculous. How did they conceive of that? It's so ridiculous. Awesome and ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. Best.
There you have it.
Best movie in the MCU by far.
Wow.
Maybe. I mean, that's not. I'm just joking around. But that's.
I could say top 5.
Top 3. For me, definitely the funniest. Definitely the funniest.
Well, I mean, if you're going on funny, you could just say Ant-Man's pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty funny, but it's not Thor Ragnarok funny.
You're right.
So that was Thor Ragnarok. Our next one is a much more serious tone. This came out in 2018. It's called Black Panther. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, which I actually made a note here. I said easily the funniest of the director names.
easily, without question.
I don't know if you remember from Community, there's that professor, the Coogler. Anyway, so that is our next movie in the franchise. Make sure you come back for that one. And thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day. I'm Dan S, as in science.
I'm Dan F, as in fictional.
And I can't say that's all, folks, right? That's
copyright.
All right,
dude.
so I'll say
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. No,
that's copyright. That's so I'll say
monetizing the whole shit. Damn it!
Let's just say Pugenschlar.
exactly what I was going to say.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.